There's a particular kind of tiredness that has nothing to do with your body. You finish a conversation, you walk away, and somehow the conversation doesn't walk away with you. You replay it on the drive home. You replay it in the shower. You rewrite your own lines and give yourself the sharper response you didn't think of in the moment. Hours later, you're still standing in a room that everyone else has already left. If this is familiar, you're not broken, and you're not doing anything wrong. Your mind is doing something it was built to do. It just doesn't always know when to stop. Tonight, let's look at why the mind reopens moments that are already closed, what it's actually reaching for when it loops, and a few quiet ways to let the room finally empty out. Your mind is a prediction machine more than a memory machine. Its main job isn't to store the past accurately. It's to use the past to keep you safe in the future. So when something feels unresolved, especially something social, your mind flags it as an open loop worth checking. Did I read that right? Did I damage something? Is there a threat I missed? Replaying the moment can feel like problem solving. It feels productive, like you're getting closer to an answer. But notice what usually happens. You run the same scene for the 10th time, and you don't actually learn anything new. The loop isn't searching for information anymore. It's searching for a feeling. The feeling of certainty, of being sure that you're okay. And certainty, in most human situations, is the one thing that isn't on offer. So the mind keeps reaching for a door that was never going to open. Watch the shape your replays take. Often you're not remembering the conversation. You're editing it. You delete your clumsy sentence and insert the clever one. You imagine the other person finally understanding you or finally admitting that they were wrong. It feels satisfying for about 3 seconds. Here is the quiet trap. Each rehearsal makes the moment feel more important, not less. You're not closing the loop, you're feeding it. The mind treats whatever you repeat as something that matters. So the more you replay a moment to calm yourself, the more weight your mind quietly assigns to it. You practice the argument so many times that a small exchange starts to feel like evidence about who you are. The story grows, not because anything new happened, but because you keep telling it. The second pattern is quieter. Someone goes quiet. A message sits unanswered. A friend seems a little distant. There's no actual information here, just a blank space. And the mind hates a blank space, so it fills it. Almost always it fills it with the worst plausible meaning. They're annoyed with me. I said something wrong. They're pulling away. Notice that you treat this invented story as if it were a fact you received when really it's a guess that you generated. You're not reacting to what happened. You're reacting to the most threatening version of what might have happened. This is worth saying plainly and gently. The silence is real, but the meaning you poured into it is something you made. And if you made it, then you're allowed to hold it a little more loosely. So why is this loop so sticky? Part of it is relief. Every time you replay the scene and land on a slightly calmer thought, your mind gets a tiny hit of relief, and it learns that replaying leads to relief. It's a strange reward. The loop causes the discomfort and then briefly soothes it. So you keep returning to the thing that's hurting you because it's also the thing that seems to help. The other part is identity. If you're someone who cares deeply about being understood, an unresolved conversation feels like a threat to who you are, not just an awkward moment. That's not a flaw. The same sensitivity that makes you loop is usually the sensitivity that makes you kind, observant, and easy to be close to. The goal isn't to care less. It's to stop letting one tired part of your mind run the same errand all night. So here is a simple practice. 3 steps, easy to remember. First, name it. The moment you catch yourself replaying, say quietly, I'm looping. Not judging, just labeling. Naming a mental state gives you a half step of distance from it, and from that small distance, you can actually choose. Second, give it a place. Tell yourself you can think about this fully at 6 o'clock for 10 minutes and then return to what you were doing. You're not suppressing the thought, you're scheduling it. And most of the time, the appointment quietly cancels itself. Third, allow the incompleteness. Say the honest sentence the mind has been avoiding. I may never be certain how that landed, and I can be okay anyway. That last line is the real work, because the loop only survives as long as you keep promising yourself it will end in certainty. Let the moment be unfinished, and you let yourself leave the room. You don't have to win the argument in your head. You don't have to decode the silence tonight. A thought can feel urgent and still not be true, and a moment can stay slightly unfinished without anything being wrong. The mind that replays is just a mind trying to keep you safe with the only tool it trusts. Going over it one more time. You can thank that part of you and still set it down. So before you go, I'm curious. What's the conversation your mind keeps reopening, and what would it feel like to let that room finally empty out? Leave it below if you want to. And take care of yourself this week.